getting friend suggestions from seeing like people from the paddock, like drivers and like recognizable names from the sport, right?
Yeah, fake aliases, but
Yeah. And I'm not gonna say his real name because obviously he's changed his name for the purposes of people not being able to find him.
yeah,
But this bloke kept coming up, and I was like, "Fuck, he's a weird looking bloke." Because it's like him, like drinking a novelty beer, looking a bit like a dickhead. It's all forehead, like it's a proper one of those all forehead photos.
yeah.
I was like, his name looks fucking familiar. Like he looks somewhat familiar, but also looks like a bit of a dickhead. But he
Well, a
looks familiar.
classic case of wouldn't know them if you passed them on the street.
Yeah. And like he's all his mutual friends, like all the people that I'm already friends with from that circle. Like, okay, so like I thought I must be just like maybe he's a mechanic or something like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that pop up too are like mechanics and team officials and shit.
Yeah,
And but he kept coming, like it was one of those, when you get a suggested friend that always comes up, like almost every time you open Facebook.
yeah.
I was like, fuck, he looks familiar, but I don't know from where from. I look at his profile picture. I open his profile. Scott McLaughlin. I was like, fuck it. Yeah, that explains where I saw that forehead from, because he dominated for 4 seasons.
Yeah. Nothing but straight fucking head on the man.
Oh,
His
yeah.
profile picture.
I just thought, every now and then I get one of those, mate, some of the names, I have to tell you off podcast, some of the alias names I've come across from people in the sport, both in supercars and Formula 1, that come across my suggested friends, are just hilarious. Like, there's some real simple ones that are like, oh, makes heaps of sense. And then there's ones like Scotty's that just threw me, that like I had to open his profile picture and realize, that's why I recognize him.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen a couple. Lee, they come up on my fucking suggested because you're now mutual friends with them. So I cop a couple strays here and there. And like I'm half tempted now to like just start sending them friend requests, but like
Mate,
I don't know what it's gonna get me. I think for you it's almost like a notch on your belt, like a little bit of a trophy cabinet, and I'm like,
Mate.
I don't know if I want to stoop to that.
Mate, it's not a notch on the belt. It's me simply being cockeyed on Friday nights, going like, you know what? I talked to him once at a signing session. Let's see if he accepts a friend request.
Having said that,
the answer is mostly no. But every now and then you get surprised.
Having said that, though, you did send one to an F1 driver, and then from there, because they had accepted, you got a sneak peek at some liveries and all that.
Yeah,
so it was like you got a fuck all, but like you got a nugget.
Got a nugget, and every now and then you do see shit like I did see the I don't want to say which car it is. Not that anyone's ever got to backtrack this, but I don't want to risk people getting in trouble. I did see one of the cars the night before it got launched.
In full?
In full, yeah. It was going on a flatbed
yeah.
to go to a launch event. Like, I saw it was
yeah.
like... I didn't put it in the group chat because I saw it at like... I saw it at like 12 at night. I was like, well, no one's going to fucking open this. And everyone's going to hate me because I'm lighting the group chat again up at the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Which get used to because it's Formula 1 season soon enough, and there's going to be a lot of fuck it. Just put the group chat on mute. Grand Prix nights.
Now that we're talking about Formula 1, I'm glad you brought me to this topic, Daniel. What the fuck is F175? I've seen 20 drivers, 10 teams, one big show or something.
Right, so
what actually is it? Do we know?
So the 75 thing is... It's 75...
years, yeah.
75th anniversary of the category, starting in 1950.
Not that stupid, mate. I figured that part out.
Are you sure, mate? I've seen you do some fucking stupid shit. Shall I bring up the clutch incident from New Year's Eve?
No, please. Let's continue on F175.
So what they've done this year is, and I like this, it's kind of cool, they've decided they're going to have a big launch party as a category and launch all 10 liveries. Like, all the drivers are going to be there. It's in New York at some stadium that apparently a lot of people play it like as a proper concert stadium setup.
Yeah.
and they're gonna do it all at once. There's two funny parts to this. One, it means teams that are launching because the cars that are gonna be in New York are not the actual cars. They're just gonna be show cars with the livery on it.
Yeah.
Because I
Fuck
figured too.
sending the actual cars over, and
Yeah,
half of them are probably already starting to get packed and sent this way. If
yeah.
they
Well,
aren't
McLaren,
already.
McLaren and Williams have already actually launched the actual car at Silverstone. But
Yeah.
because of the rules around this, they had to come up with fake liveries. So I think Williams is literally running their current sponsors in the configuration they were last year, plus a bit of a camo livery underneath. Like, so it's not just the plain livery of last year,
Yeah.
because the rules speak that it has to be a camo livery.
Yeah.
And McLaren just ran a plain papyrus and sort of gunmetal grey camo livery with only the
I
drivers' names on it.
Yeah, I did see that. That actually
So
looks kind of fucking cool. But
you should
like,
see do it. If you reckon that looks cool, Google right now. Red Bull Racing Test Livery 2018. Mate, I wanted to model this car so bad, but by the time I got into model cars, this shit was long gone. Like, it is one of the holy grails of model cars for Formula Ones if you get your hands on one of these bastards.
alright, let's go images. Fuck yeah!
How cool
It's
is that?
the dark blue.
Yeah, the dark blue camo.
They
How
also
cool, like,
fucking have it on a LMP car by the looks of it. Same fucking thing, or someone's
I,
just taken it across to
I,
there.
I,
Kind
I
of
don't know
thing.
nothing about that. All I know is that was I remember
Oh
seeing
yeah,
Ricardo test that in 2018. I was like,
yeah,
ho ho ho. And then when I got
yeah,
into model cars, I found out because my first ever model car was Ricardo's 2018 Monaco car.
yeah,
And then like the guy was telling me like, oh, do you have the camo car? Like they make one of those in there because I had no idea the world I was stepping into,
yeah,
the
yeah,
financial heartache I was going to bring myself into by stepping into that world of model cars. I
yeah,
was like, they make them. He goes, oh yeah, you're like they're awesome. I was like, oh shit, how do I order one of those? He goes, oh no, they're gone. They're way gone. I was like, fuck. Not
Type
that I had the money
Facebook
back then for it.
Marketplace.
eBay. Hey, I got a 2014 Ricardo car off eBay and it was surprisingly good and reasonably priced. I thought for sure the thing's gonna rock up broken.
Aren't you just a lucky duck?
Yeah, but I can't do that shit anymore. Can't buy a
Okay,
house.
so F175 is just a big entertainment livery.
It's a
reveal
big entertainment,
fucking up
and they're keeping it short and sharp. There's a couple of musical guests. I think it's gonna be 8:30. I think I'm looking
7
into it
a.m. I believe it starts 7 a.m. our time.
Australian time
Yeah,
on the
tomorrow
19th.
morning, Yeah,
Tomorrow morning on the 19th. Yep, because
Yeah.
today is the 18th. Yep.
Yep.
Now the
That's
second
nice.
funny part about this is not every year Haas does this, but most years Haas do this.
Yeah.
They will say we're launching the car on the 20th.
Yeah,
Like that, and all in normal years, Mercedes will be like, we're the 19th, and Haas will be like, it has to be the 20th, and Ferrari will be the 17th, and blah blah. And most years Haas would do this little fucking thing of like, yeah, we're gonna launch the car on the 20th, and then on the eve or the 16th when Ferrari's about to launch their livery, they just put out a render and just completely fuck Ferrari's window of free media space to get their little render of the car out.
yeah,
And then everyone goes up in arms like, "God, you said in 3 more days." And I said, "Oh no, we said we're going to show you the car in 3 more days." Today we're just showing you the livery in a render, and they did this like 4 years in a row. I think from 2020, from 2019 all the way through to 2022, every fucking year they would launch the render of the livery the night before the first team was due to announce. To the point, I think Ferrari didn't even announce. Oh no, was it Ferrari? No, it might have been McLaren. McLaren didn't even announce their launch date till like the day before. They just like teased it and like, oh, we're going now, just to try and jump ahead of Haas,
yeah.
which I think they did, but it's just so funny that Haas can't do that anymore. It's the only opportunity for them to get anyone to look at their bloody car.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I wonder how Haas is going to go this year. They're fucking...
Yeah, I think it's gonna be another year of mid.
Yeah. I don't... Yeah. I don't think they're going anywhere.
No.
Oh,
Yeah. Right, dude.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's episode 28. We're on the eve of the Sydney 500. It's race week. It's finally
We're
here.
on the eve of the. As of time of recording, we're on the eve of the test at Sydney. Actually,
Yeah.
the old
But
teams test.
by the time I edit this, we're probably on the eve of the weekend.
Can't take you anywhere.
Uh.
Well, what
So,
you want to yap about? What are we?
well,
What are we here to talk?
I think it's a big good opportunity to go through Super 2. Have a look at what we got going on in Super 2.
Race cars. That's what they do.
Yeah, nothing gets
Super
by you,
2.
does it, mate?
Nothing gets by me. Series soon to come.
Yeah. So, I've got a bit of an entry list here.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. In front of me, I do. Piss off.
It's old.
So, there's no particular order. This is in team order of how I put it together. And, of course, being Super 2, the two cars competing in this are the old Mustang 550, or the Gen 2 550 Mustang, and the Gen 2 Camaro BZ. Or ZB. ZB.
Yeah, ZB.
So, I'm going to belt you. I swear to God. Anyway, so we kick off with the first team, Eccleston Motorsports. And they're running let me count this, 5 cars. Jesus Christ, go outside. So we're going to start with
Christ, yeah.
with the reigning champion, Zach Bates. He'll be running the number 1. This is a Camaro, goddamn, Commodore team, by the way.
Get it together.
It's piss off. I spent half of 2 years ago saying Commodore instead of Camaro. So Zach Bates, running champion last year, he snuck it out under the noses of Kai Allen and who else was with Mason Kelly? Was it Mason Kelly? No, I'm misremembering that.
The nicest way, fucked if I know.
I do know who it is. The sad part is I went to TAFE for this bloke and I've forgotten his bloody name.
Aaron Cameron? Is that?
Yes, that's it. Aaron Cameron, who's not returned. By the looks of it, I don't think so.
No, I don't see him on the list I'm looking at, but fuck knows when this was updated. It's got Bailey Sweeney in it on this list.
Yeah, no, I checked it. I checked before we started recording. This is up to date. Yeah. So, Zach Bates, obviously son of rallying legend. I'm going to pull up his name before I forget it, because the Bates family is quite big, especially in the world of rally.
Oh.
And I closed the Wikipedia page. Awesome. We are off to a prime start this week.
I would love to be able to say what the Bates family has accomplished. I do know Zach Bates' sister, Karen, is in the Ute series, I believe. She's in the Super Utes. That much I think maybe off the top of my head.
They literally got like a family member in every category, but they're very focused on rally. I know that they're I think his cousins just won the Australian Rally Championship last year, and they have a couple of times, or it might be definitely a rally. I don't know if it's cousin or his brother. I'm not gonna for Rick Bates is his father. Apparently he's quite big in the rallying world. So now they've successfully lost the pages I was looking at, because I had to get Sapo to. Whoa! I almost hit close on the podcast. Jesus Christ, this is a shit product, isn't it? So Zach Bates, returned champion with number 1. I believe he won the title last year, actually, with WAU, and made the jump across to Eccleston's. The next car is Braden Owen. He is a rookie. Let's open up Wiki for another shit fight to find out a little bit more about Brady.
God. You know, I reckon I can find out more, because I can just press on his name right here. Yeah. And it just gave me a fat blank page. All right.
Yeah, guess what? Yeah, I'm looking at Wiki too. There's not... Do it. Braden, let's do...
Brady.
Brady, sorry.
Don't fuck his name.
Fuck you. Brady, do well this year and we'll make you a Wiki page. Because at the moment, you got no blue links. So, he's a rookie. That's all I know about him. Cody Butcher. Now, Cody Butcher, was he... Correct me if I'm wrong, Yash. Was he not in TCR? I feel like he was. Butcher sounds really familiar.
I don't know. I'm Why don't I know these things? I aspire to have the level of autism where I am the Wikipedia.
Oh, Supercars has a bio system, but has no way to links to it, and the bio
Yeah.
system is useless. Okay, I just looked him up on the Supercars website. Just says his date of birth and his height. His nickname is Butch, apparently. Okay, cheers. His outside car.
Yeah. Well, moving on. All the best to
Moving
you,
on.
Butcher. All the
Um,
best.
Elliot Cleary returns. He's been in the category before. Sorry, let me just figure out
What's that? It's
what.
not Butcher. It's Bircher. You
As a
fucking idiot.
Bircher. Okay, well then
Yeah.
it's not from TCR.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Dyslexia is an illness, mate. So Cleary
R's
will be
and T's
running
are
the.
different, mate.
I can't say that, dude. You can see my text messages. Do you think I want to be like this? So he'll be running the 38 Commodore. Finally, the final car for Eggleston, Geordie Sidney. He's jumped across from I think he jumped across from Tickford. But he will be running the 54 Camaro, a Commodore. I keep doing that. Moving on to Triple Eight Race Engineering. They got a brand new pairing for this season of
Yep.
Jackson Walls and Ben Grimasol. How do you spell that? How do you spell that, Ash? So I
Just
don't
like,
want
where
I've
after Ben are we? Someone Ben someone.
35. The 35. GOMERSA.
Why isn't it coming up? Where the fuck are you, Ben? Yeah, I can't find Ben, so just wait. Super 3 or Super 2?
Now only Super 2. So this year there's
Oh,
no
there's
Super
no.
3.
Damn, that's bad.
Ben
That's
doesn't.
really bad.
Ben also
Oh,
doesn't.
Ben Gomersall.
Gomersall.
Gomersall?
That's how you say it.
Gomersall? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how it's said. He's a
Yeah.
rookie. We run the 35. Now Jackson Walls does have a wiki page, and he's been let's see, just running through. He ran Formula Ford in 2018. So 2018 for 2019 Formula Ford. Formula Ford Australia. Sorry, Formula 4, not Ford. So he ran in 2019. He continued with Formula 4. Also did the Formula 3 Asia Pacific and some Toyota Racing Series.
Yeah.
Same in 2020 with Toyota Racing Series. Jumped into Porsches in 21 and has stayed there all the way through to all the way through the 23 when he jumped into Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East.
Yeah.
And then back to Australia for last year. And then so he's stepping up into Super 2 with Triple Eight in the number 11. Moving up to Walkinshaw Andretti United. In the number 2, we got Campbell Logan.
Yep.
And rookie Matt Hillier. Now, I actually do know a little bit about this bloke, as I know he's been a big thing in the 86s.
I
I'm
Yep.
pretty sure he won the
I'm pretty
title.
sure.
So I
If
definitely
not, he
did hear
was
a lot about him.
always up there. Yeah. He was always. The commentators were always banging on because he was always up in top 3 positions and is such a young gun, I believe, as well. Like
Yeah, I think he was signed to the
15,
Walkinshaw
16
pro.
or something.
Yeah, signed to the Walkinshaw program pretty early, from my understanding.
Yeah.
Moving on to Tickford. Tickford's running a 4-car team. Obviously, they're running the Mustang. Ruben Goodall has jumped across Tickford. The only thing I'll really say about Ruben is casting your mind back to Adelaide. He had that monstrous crash at turn 3 where he clipped the wall, ripped the front right suspension and front brakes out of it, and then just careered into the runoff of turn 4 and spun that barrier around that was not locked in the way it should have been.
No. But you get that on the big jobs.
You get that with the big jobs.
I was going to say, I'll actually fucking talking about Ruben, sorry. He's up there on my poster. There he is. That's Mr. Ruben.
Good stuff, mate.
Just an observation.
So he'll be running the number 5. Moving on to number 6, Lockie Dalton raced for Tickford last year, did a wildcard entry at Sydney. And we'll be seeing more of Lockie, not just in Super 2, but later this year. This only got announced earlier this week that him and Ryan Gray, which we'll get into in a moment, are running a wildcard program with Tickford. So he will be competing at Perth as a
Yeah.
solo wildcard, and then he will be the primary driver for a Tickford-led wildcard at the Enduros. And he's in the number 6. His teammate, both here in Super 2 and in the wildcard program, Ryan Gray, he's running the 55. Ryan Gray is pretty much running the exact same program. He's going to be the co-driver for Lachlan, for Lockie. But he will have a solo wildcard entry at Darwin, I believe.
There you go.
And then we got. Let's see, oh, this is one of the rare ones I actually have a Wikipedia page for. Next one is Nash Morris, who's son of Bathurst winner Paul Morris.
The dude Morris.
The dude himself.
Who actually is doing V8 Super Utes this
Yeah,
season.
I think it's his first time back to a full-time gig since 2014, I believe.
Yeah.
He won he won Super Free in 2021, which Super Free is what it is. He's also raced previously in Toyota 86 and the Boost Super Trucks.
Yeah.
He will be running the 222.
There you go.
Yeah. Moving on to moving back to the Commodores. Technically, this is run underneath the Erebus banner, the Erebus Academy banner, but it'll be run out of the Image Racing stable. Obviously, Erebus and Image Racing have had a relationship for a long time, and a lot of their juniors go either up for a co-relationship with them or just straight up for Image Racing.
Yeah.
He'll be also co-driving with. I'm just gonna pull up the document here because I got it in front of me just by luck. The 99. Yeah, he'll be running with Cooper Murray in the Enduros. So that's Job Stewart in the 99. Next down in the Image Racing camp, we got Jared Hughes in the 118. I believe he's also running a wild card with Erebus. Yes, he is with Jack LeBrock. Not a wild card, sorry, a co-drive.
Yeah.
So these are a lot of drivers here we are going to see in main game one way or another.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to let you have a crack at pronouncing this one, Ash. Max Geoghegan.
Is it? Alright. Let's. So I reckon it is said. Where are we? Let's get. I saw it before. So, Geohagen, Max Geohagen.
That sounds right. I saw a video with him.
Yeah.
He did social media things. I'm pretty sure Max Geo. So he's a rookie. I think he's just out of Toyota 86, I believe. I know he's done some karting stuff because I saw something from his former karting team. Did a bit of social media early this week about his step up to Super 2. So he's a rookie. He'll be running the 53 for Image Racing.
Yeah.
Moving on to Anderson Motorsports, who will be running Fords. We got two rookies here, Anton Hodson and Ryan Tomset. Do we bring up anything about these two blokes?
I know Tomset. Tomset's also out of the 86 program because his name once again was just rung like fucking anything when he was racing. He was always leading the pack and shit.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's yeah. That's I don't know too much about these blokes. I'd love to, but the Supercars website will tell me how high they are and what car they drive in their free time, but won't tell me where they're from. Cheers, guys. Hodson will be running the 28, and Ryan will be running the 17. Yep. Moving on to Brad Jones Racing, also running Commodores. Brad Vaughan, which I believe was previously with Tickford, he's now with BJR in the number 80. The number 80, I saw an article about this last year's by Scott Pye. In the year, I think he won. I can't remember if he won Super 2 in the year or just did it really well. But yeah, last year's by Scott Pye. And Cody Gillis run the number 9. Cody Gillis is also a regular from recent seasons of Super 2.
Yeah.
Moving on to Kelly Racing. Obviously, the first car here, Mason Kelly, son of not what's the other Kelly brother? One of the Kelly brothers, current Todd Kelly. Sorry, son of Todd Kelly. He'll be around the 22.
Yeah.
And the next one down is a bloke we know very well, Cameron McLeod. Has jumped across from, I can't remember who he was with last year, but he's jumped into the Kelly Racing camp. He'll be still running the number 2, but now in a Ford Mustang. Cameron obviously did some Super Free last year, did a couple of Super 2 entrances. We were lucky enough to talk to him at Sandown a couple of years ago. Was prepping for his Super Free round ahead of the 500.
Oh, yeah.
And he
Yeah,
got
and
his
he's done some endurance racing too, I believe. Is
yeah,
that
he got
right?
his first crack with I believe he was paired with was it paired with Slade or Golding? I think I might have been with Golding last year at the Enduros.
Yeah.
And he did a decent job. I don't really remember much from him last
That
year,
which is a good thing.
which is a good thing. You know, no news is often good news.
Yeah.
So I suspect we'll see him in as a co-driver again later this year.
I think I'd peg Cameron McLeod as one of the people who are definitely going to be in the main game in 26. Like, he's right there, and he's like a couple of seats open up as well at the end of this season with retirements and shit. So
Yeah, well, I think. Well, you gotta see how Stanaway's going to go at Premier. I think Stanaway's on a 1 year deal. This is the real put up or shut up for Stanaway. So
yeah,
there's an option there, but also Nathan Hearn's also knocking on that door, which we'll get into him a little bit later.
yeah,
But but also Courtney's retiring. Um, Courtney's retiring, so that opens the door there. But also, mate, Aaron Cameron is knocking on that door as well because he's in the the Blanchard Racing camp, and
that's it.
also Bailey Sweeney.
Peter Adderton, make that team happen, mate. We need more
Don't
seats in
I
the
don't know?
main game.
Do we want to open that Pandora's box? Do
It's
we really
already
want
open,
to?
mate. It's already open.
No,
Just
Supercars has firmly closed that box in his face. Supercars has 2 contracts they could sell to him, and they refuse to. Like, he brought a car and everything, and he's like, "Well, I want to race," and Supercars went, "No." Which I don't know, I'm offended. Like, he's a perfect marketer because he gets like that hat thing from last year.
yeah,
He got so much free publicity about kicking a stink up about that, more than what
yeah,
he ever would have paid for the actual sponsorship.
yeah,
And he knows that. He knows how to stir things up about marketing. My problem with him is how he rips into people. Like, he ripped into Brock and Anton a couple of years ago because they ditched Boost in the off season
ah,
for Vodafone as personal
yeah,
sponsors.
yeah,
And he ripped into him about, like, oh, I gave you guys funding. You're the whole reason you're in the sports because of the money I gave you, blah, blah. And it's like, oh,
yeah.
this is where you'd be like when you're on a team when a driver leaves or a staff member leaves, you're going to open up on
Just
Facebook and
guilt
rip them
them.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so moving on
can't win
to.
them all.
Can't win them all. So moving on to our next team here. Matt Charter Motorsports. Bit of an odd one here. So obviously Matt's running the primary car. No number has been set for here. He normally runs the 118, but that's been taken
Yeah,
up by Jared Hughes. So I don't know what's going on with that at the moment.
just
Last
right.
year,
Another bloke who's on my wall. Probably a bit more
yeah,
to the other
it would
side,
be.
but
So
just right, right there.
yeah. So last year he ran the 18, sorry. But
Jared
in
Hughes.
previous years he ran the 118 and he ran the 118 in his wild card for the last couple of years at Bathurst and
Yep.
Sandown. Now, bit of a mix-up team here because we've got an unmarked second driver, yet to be named, and no numbers for either car. Now, the plan was he was going to run a Commodore and a Mustang, with the Mustang being filled for the second unnamed driver,
Yeah.
and then later in the year switch both cars to a Mustang. Now, don't know why. No reason's been given for this. He has not withdrawn, but just did elected not to be in Sydney. He was not on the entry list, so for some reason he's not going to be at the season opener at Sydney.
Yeah.
From what he was saying mid last year, he was intending to be or do another wild card this year for the Enduros. So maybe he's pulling back on that to be fully focused on that. I'm not really sure what's going on there. So no Matt Chandler Motorsports at all at the Sydney round with nothing marked for it. And finally, our final car here, we know plenty about this bloke because he used to be very dominant in TCR, and he won. I think he might have won what we could probably call the last ever series of it. Because I don't think he's coming back. Bailey Sweeney, he's a rookie, very talented bloke. Does a lot of fundraising himself for
Yeah.
the sport he does. He will be racing with Blanchard in the 33 Mustang.
There we go.
The form now they go for the calendar format. Nothing. Same as last year. 40-minute races time certain, so 40 minutes plus one lap. All standardized 30-minute qualifying. Super 2 rounds will be this year at Sydney for the Sydney 500, Tasmania for the Tasmanian Super 440, Townsville for the Townsville 500, Ipswich for the Ipswich Super 440, the Repco Bathurst 1000, and the Adelaide Grand Final. So there'll be 12 rounds this year.
It feels like
12
more.
races, 6 races.
Oh, 12 races, 6 rounds.
Yeah, so it's the same amount of rounds that they've swapped. They've taken away Perth and they've put in Tassie, which I'm personally really excited for that.
Yeah.
It's
no,
going to be carnage.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to be there too.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful.
So,
What
anything
else?
to add about Super 2 before we leave this subject?
I'm excited to get more around Super 2 this year, I would say. Just because it's a lot more accessible. Like
Mm.
the main game is still very accessible in the grand scheme of things.
Mm.
But Super 2 is crazy and people underrated and all that. I think like when you go to Sandown like last year and like example the signatures when they had their signature thing, there were maybe 50 people hanging around at most for all their signatures.
One fat bloke with a rim.
Yeah, fuck that bloke with the rim. He got his rim signed so much. It was impressive.
And I'm going to be doing it again this year because I'm still missing a few blokes. So I'm going to jump into... Should I jump into co-driver? I think I'm going to jump into wildcards before I jump into some co-driver stuff. So as I mentioned earlier, Tickford's confirmed earlier this week that they're going to run a wildcard for Lockie Dolan and Ryan Gray. Lachlan's going to be the primary driver. This is the co-driving. It's going to be 4 rounds. So Lachlan at Perth, Ryan at Darwin,
Yeah,
and both of them at both enduros. No car numbers been set yet. I presume it's going to be the 5 like they did last year for Lachlan. Obviously we got the Cameron Crick wild card. He's going to be competing this weekend at Sydney, and then again in both enduros. A talked about but not confirmed wild cards for Premier Racing. They're looking like they're going to run Nathan Hearn at a undecided solo round, which would be great because Nathan was knocking on the door a fair bit for a co-driver a few years ago after winning the TCR. I think he went back to back in Trans Am. Sorry.
yeah. I was gonna say I know him from Trans Am and how successful he is there.
Yeah, I think he just kept falling short of the super light points because supercars wouldn't award as many super license points to Trans Am as they did supercars, Super 2.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think he went to the States for a couple of years, but he's back now. But it looks like he's finally going to get that co-drive and a wild card to have a crack at it too. So and I suspect he's probably in the him and our mate Cameron McLeod is probably in the hot seat to be Richie's replacement if Richie doesn't work out.
yeah.
What else? Wildcard. I think that's all. Yeah, that's all 3 wild cards at the moment we got throughout the season. But I'm just going to rattle through here known co-driver setups. So this is in just alphabetical order of the teams. So starting with last year's champion, Will Brown will be paired up with Scott Pye in the car and the number 1 car. The 8A car of Brock Feeney will be paired up again with Jamie Whincup. The Triple Eight car of Zach Bates will be paired up with Craig Lowndes. Now, that might sound a bit weird. Why is Craig Lowndes the co-driver here? It's because the primary drivers have to start the car. So by putting Zach Bates, who's really the co-driver, in as a primary driver, they can run how they used to run the strategy, which the most strategy they used to run for, especially for Bathurst, was co-drivers start and then mains jump in. So this allows them to guarantee run an offset strategy, and this is how they gained so many positions last year at both rounds. Because Craig Lowndes could jump in when the co-drivers jumped in. So they're going up
Okay.
against the mains, and that's the ideal strategy.
Yeah.
Is to start with co-drivers, unless you're way up the back and you want to try something different, then you might throw a main in. But as Scott
Yeah.
Pye was saying on his own podcast, it takes a lot away of the strategy because like the mind games they play, you'll see on the grid that like obviously all the drivers for all the media appearances have to be in full kit.
Yeah.
It's part of the regulations for interviews or anything like that. Unless it's like it says unless there's extraordinary circumstances.
Yeah.
But for like the national anthem stuff, they have to be in the full race suit. But you'll see at
Yeah.
Bathurst and Sandown, they'll come out with both drivers will come in their helmets. Just in past years,
Yeah.
both have their helmets, both have their cool suits, both have their gloves, and only the team knows who's getting in that car, all out to the point that the driver actually gets in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a real mind game. Moving on to Walk on Shore and Andretti for Chaz Mostard's 25 and Ryan Wood's number 2 car. This was announced actually just about an hour ago before we jumped on that Jaden Ojeda is returning to the team to be a co-driver. The team hasn't confirmed which car he's going to be with.
Yeah.
So the two co-drivers for Chaz and Ryan Wood are Jaden Ojeda or Fabian Coulthard.
Yeah.
I suspect Chaz has driven with Fabian before in 2022 when Lee Holdsworth went back to a full-time drive.
Yeah.
But Fabian did drive with Ryan Wood last year, so it's a real 50-50. I think they're going to try and shake it up. I think they're going to throw Jaden with Chaz. That being said, Jaden does have a similar build to Ryan Wood, so it could go either way. We'll see where the matches up better there.
Yeah.
Car 8, Adrian Heingartner will be paired again with Declan Fraser. This is another recent announcement. Oh no, sorry, wrong car. 96 for Brad Jones Racing. Macaulay Jones will be paired again with Jordan Boys. Now, this is
Yeah.
another recent announcement that only got announced probably about 5 o'clock today. Jack Smith is back in supercars
Yeah.
after 12 months out. He's going to be co-driving with Jackson Evans. Obviously, the Smith family owns that number 12 number 12 car.
Jack
So
Smith was who we were shouting for at Sandown, wasn't it? Because no one fucking.
yeah, he was.
I forgot about him completely.
Yeah, I got to have a little bit of a chat to him at Tassie a few years ago, and he's really nice. And on this announcement, like a lot of people getting him shit, like, "Oh, you're slow, blah blah. Why is he back? He's the Lance Stroll of Formula One with supercars," which is completely wrong. Because like my view on like drivers such as Macaulay Jones and Jack Smith, who are like probably more money than talent, is hey, they're not out there hurting anyone. They're not
Yeah.
exactly an incompetent driver. Like a Nikita Mazepin was an incompetent driver.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
incompetent. Like they're half decent drivers, and they're just out there living the dream. Fuck it. If I had the money in the backing, I would be out there too. I would happily, if I had the money, I'd happily come 24th every weekend to say
Yeah.
I'm a supercar driver because that's what we all want.
Yeah.
So I'm generally surprised he didn't come back. Last year, I thought last year for sure he was going to be shooing to be a co-driver, but just didn't. So,
Yeah.
but he's back this year with the car he owns, and I've suspected for a long time because I think technically his uncle is Tommy Smith. It's a weird family structure. His uncle is younger than him, but Tommy Smith I think he was in Formula 3. I don't think he's doing Formula 3 again this year. He wasn't too great to be honest with you in Formula 3.
Yeah.
I've said for a while there, it wouldn't surprise me that if Tommy Smith when he gives up on the Formula 1 dream, that he comes back to Australia and races in that number 12 car.
Yeah. There's also Smith's also doing Trans Am this year. So there's
Jack
that.
is.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's set to do the full season.
That's good. Good on him.
So,
I don't know why he left. I don't know if he just gave it a rest, or maybe because a lot of people giving him shit. Maybe he wanted to get away from the head noise, but it's good to see him back. Because like I said, he was a generally nice bloke to have a chat to.
Yeah, yeah,
Moving down to
absolutely.
Dick Johnson Racing, the 38 of Brody Kostecki, he will be teaming up with his Bathurst 1000 co-winner last year, Todd Hazelwood again.
Yep,
And in the 17 with Will Davison again is Tony DeBerto. Oh no, Tony was with he was with Anton last year, but I think this year makes Tony's. I think he's. I think this is his fifth or sixth season as a co-driver, which, as in
yeah,
co-driver terms, only puts him on with Dick Johnson Racing, puts him on par with only John Bow as the amount of co-drive starts he's made with DJR.
yeah.
That's a little
Yeah.
stats nugget for you.
Thanks
Uh,
for the nugget, mate.
Moving on to Erebus, as previously stated before, Job Stewart will be partnered in the 99 with Cooper Murray, and Jared Hughes will be partnered with Jack LeBrock in the number 9. Grove Racing, Garth again will be with Matt Payne in the 19, and Dale Wood will partner rookie Kai Allen in the 26.
Yep, that would be good to have a cool head on that side
Yep.
of the garage.
Matt Stones picked up Tim Slade to partner Nick Percat in the number 10.
Yep,
David Russell was back again with James Golding in the 31. I've got an asterisk here, but reading from the article, it's definitely going to happen. As I was saying earlier, Nathan Hearn, off the back of his wildcard starts, is going to co-drive with Richie in the 62.
yep,
And finally, our last team. Oh no, sorry, I'll tell a lie there. Almost last team. Well, technically the same team. They're all the same team. For Tickford, in the number 6, Mark Winterbottom returns to the team and returns to his old car number to co-drive with Cam Waters. They're going to be a real car to watch. That's going to be a real strong lineup. James Moffat, who was with Cam for the last few years, he's going to be bumped down to drive with Thomas Randall in the 55, that is still a very strong lineup.
yep.
And and as we previously said, Lachlan Dalton, Ryan Gray in the unnumbered at the moment Tickford wildcard. So if your favourite driver, if I didn't say the name of your driver there, they are still TBC on their co-drivers.
There you go. I don't have anything to add to that.
Oh, actually, sorry, something hasn't. I'm just looked at something going like, oh, that didn't update. Because I definitely wrote that in, but it didn't for Team 18. Just give me a moment here. Because I know who one driver is. I just want to make sure before I say the wrong person for the second driver. Team 18 co-drivers. Now, this is another case of the team has announced the drivers, but not who they're going to be with. One is Lee Holdsworth. So you're wondering why Lee's not with Chaz? He's gone over to Team 18. I suspect probably he's going to jump in with David Reynolds in the number 20. That's just my guess because they seem to be two sort of similar age blokes, similar style driving. I think both former Bathurst 1000 winners.
Yeah.
But also they could go for experience with their second driver, who, let me just find his name, Porsche Carrera Cup champion, dual Porsche Carrera Cup champion. Sorry, Harry Jones. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know too much about Harry, just as I know him that he's won Porsche Carrera Cup. So maybe they might go for a bit of youth and throw the more experienced head with Anton and the more youth with David Reynolds. But we'll see how we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's all we got for co-drivers. I think we're nearing the end of this, mate.
Yeah.
Of this very chaotic and off the walls episode with no structure because I forgot to write us a structure. I think I'm going to end this with. So a few weeks ago, I was talking about how severely fucked I was an F1 manager.
Yes, you were. I believe off the top of my head, this might not be an accurate recap, but yeah, both cars written off. Deeply in debt, no way out, and budget caps and fines coming in every week or something because
Every month. Yep.
Yeah.
It was that I was limping engine components. Like I was done. I was using old engine components for practice because I only had
Yeah.
4 race weekends to go,
Yeah.
and my hope was, I'll get cash. I'll get cash at the end of the season for the new season. Hopefully that clears my debt and I can build myself out of this hole.
Yeah.
That was my plan. So I limped it like literally every second practice session. I was having one of the 2 cars fail mechanically because the components I was putting in it was so fucked. They would break in the practice sessions. So I could
God.
keep what components I had for the races.
Yeah.
I was running pretty much a little bit of spec. Like I had like spec 1 frings and front wings and spec 2 chassis and like spec 4 rear wings. Like I was using
Yeah.
everything I
Just
can.
Frankenstein cars,
Frankenstein
basically.
just to get the thing to work.
Yeah.
Um, at Qatar, Stroll locked up and hit Ricardo, writing off a car and writing off my last spare chassis of any spec, which meant I had to, and it was in the sprint race too, which meant
Oh,
I had to emergency manufacture a chassis, which is like if a normal chassis costs $600 and might be 3 weeks to build, a emergency manufacture 600 grand. A emergency manufacture in the game is like normally 2.5 mil, but you get it instantaneously.
yeah.
So I had no choice. I had to do that because the game would not let me get. Like I couldn't just withdraw Ricardo
Yeah.
for the
You had to,
weekend.
you had to go into
I
severe debt.
I had to go even more into debt. So I got to the very end, hoping my best. I got fired from your own team.
Oh.
Yeah, got to the very end. It's like you have failed the teams. For some reason, the board expected me to achieve 5th in the championship. I was like, bro, we got 7 points. Like we still got 7th.
Yeah.
We're belting the shit out of Williams, but
Yeah.
still like, damn, like yeah, not too much. And the game option gave me the game gave me 3 options. Um, delete save. um, look at another like go to another team or restart the season from Bahrain.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, restart the season from Bahrain or restart the last 5 races.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, look, I was fucked long before 5 races ago. I looked at other teams and like only Williams or Haas would have me. I was like, well, I did Williams in the last game. I did Haas in the last game. That sucked.
Yeah.
Williams is trash, so I've just belted them and the car is trash. So not doing that. So I've started the season again to try and right my wrongs.
Hopefully it doesn't have a repeat.
I think I had a good strategy. There's like 2 things fucked me. One thing that fucked me in the new game is like aero components slowly wear out.
Yeah.
So you can't just make like 4 front wings. Like, oh, well, we have no crashes. We still got 4 front wings. Like after 5 or 6 Grand Prix, the front wing would just be fucked and go replace it regardless.
Yeah.
So that fucked me on my development because I had to keep developing components that I wasn't planning to use because they weren't going to last until the new ones were ready.
Yeah.
And then I went really aggressive on the development, trying to get the car speed up, which is all fine. But when we had a few crashes, some of our own, and then some were like that Stroll one where we just crashed into it wasn't our fault.
Yeah.
But they wrote off millions of dollars of gear all at the same time. I wasn't prepared for that, and then I did the classic thing of I just filled the cars up with new like the gear. I was almost out of gearbox and I was almost out of energy storage. So I went, well, I'm at Spa. I'm just going to spend $10 million on 2 of those new components for each car,
Yeah.
and that should outlast the season. Which maybe in hindsight I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have really waited to the end of the season when I really needed them because maybe I not have needed them as much.
You know, the trick to running a team, and I'm no expert, but it's not so much hindsight, it's foresight. That's my little nugget for you today.
I know,
Ben.
like the first game I killed it. The first game within 2.5 seasons I had Alpine winning races, and by the third season I had Lewis Hamilton as a 8-time world champion with Alpine. And last year's game I didn't play it enough. I only got halfway through the season with Haas, but also Haas was a fucking struggle. Everything was a struggle. The car sucked. The development sucked. The drivers sucked. And to sit there and watch that every time play the fucking game, just us sucking. I didn't even get through the thing. This one I've actually got through a full season, but yeah. And I'm going to keep playing.
That you've now just restarted. So.
Yeah, just restarted, but yeah, it doesn't really matter because like the new season. I think they changed the new seasons anyway. Is like driver lineups in the year, like the calendar stay the same.
Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
Oh man, I'm stuffed. I'll see you. I'll see you over the weekend for Sandown. For God damn it, too many S's in this calendar. Sydney.
All right, mate. I'll speak to you,
mate.